I always love to hear like help for Intrapreneur Academy, help them identify and define, like, what do you see as an entrepreneur and how do you see that? What's your definition of it?
So I don't know that I would alter the definition. I mean, it wasn't until we came to hearing from you guys that I was like, I know this thing. I have interacted with this thing all my life and never had language for it. So my first experience of it was watching Grandma and Granddad run the ranch together, that they were co-missioned together toward that goal. So anybody could stay up till midnight to make that work. Anybody could, put in all this extra labor because, anybody in and it got to, you can overdo that. You can extract out of your adult children. and, but to be like, okay, this is why this feels familiar. And then to come alongside and be like, okay, I see entrepreneurship at multiple levels in what I want to do. Like, number one, as a CPA, I don't want to go alone. I want to mentor. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur in my own business, or at least have enough mentorship to where I'm not only an entrepreneur. But when I settled into an offer of doing tax strategy for small business owners, I was like, this whole offer is entrepreneurship. Now, I may be kind of in the financial lanes, not swimming across all lanes of a business, but to come alongside multiple clients, but not how many clients can I flick through a tax return and get done? How many clients can I strategize with? Well, come alongside as they launch or grow or scale, and then walk with them through that.
That's good. Well, and when I think of a CPA and tax strategy, like you mentioned, you might be staying in the lane of financial, right? But the commissioning, at least that I've experienced with you, is this idea that the people are trying to do other things in their life, right? So you are kind of like, you're blending into those areas of schooling or of education or of fun, right? Or of investments. And I don't know about others, but like I can think of those things as like almost separate swim lanes in my own life in which I have to come in and out of them. And you help them navigate that seamlessly, right? Like throughout that process.
No, you're right. So it's the business owner's other pieces, and it's a little bit less of swimming inside the business. I'm not on the operations floor very often. I'm not in the online pieces. I'm not necessarily going to recommend your CRM or that kind of thing. But right, because the finances are all based on goals for individuals, especially for a small business owner, then it matters. It matters if you're trying to build up your business to sell it. It matters if you're trying to build up your business so your kids can take lessons, or you're here for the long haul, or then it matters how we strategize and where we go.
That's so good. So what I hear you saying is like the commissioning part, the not going at it alone, was or is kind of one of those cornerstone moments for you as an entrepreneur and as an entrepreneur. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's good. So when it comes to it, like, you've kind of showed us what commissioning can look like in a bunch of different ways, but like, what is it? Like, how do you know that you've achieved commissioning, like in your definition, like how you're going about it with your business?
For me, it looks like my clients aren't all ending up in the same place. If I don't set the goals for them for where we're going, and they don't all walk through the same process like bots or widgets, then, if we're actually tailoring what we're doing to where they would like to end up, then we're commissioning with where they want to go. And I get to bring what I have, and I also get to back off. There are clients who aren't ready. I've taken multiple calls I got recommended a couple times in a local moms group to some really small business owners. It's like, sweet, you're not ready for what I do, so here's a couple tips about how to strategize I understand you're just starting a small business or sometimes even an MLM. Okay, here are the things you need to keep track of. You can go look up these topics on YouTube or Google. You can run your own numbers through TurboTax and not have to file, and just get some idea of, because it posts the numbers at the top of the screen for how you're doing, what you owe or what you refund. And then if you want to pay somebody, you can at least have some idea what order of magnitude plus or minus you're at before you go. And then, that's a free way to tell whether or not you're in the ballpark, whether or not your tax professional's in the ballpark. Maybe you missed something. Maybe you deducted every meal you ever ate out and you don't have any documentation for it. And your CPA goes, no, but you have a way to tell when you're outside your lane of what can, and then I just send them on their way. There are people like I'm a QuickBooks certified specialist. So QuickBooks is typically, and when you run a business with 30 or 60 or even $80, 180, whatever a month, it can make sense. I've worked with businesses that is your crushing scale. $30 a month is too much for what they're doing. They need a free software to just help them add up their receipts. You don't need even that much framework, which seems crazy. I mean, I think it's blasphemy for an accountant to say you don't need QuickBooks or like cloud-based software. You can do it with a legal pad if you're careful. You can turn it. I started out taking colored highlighters to people's credit card receipts in my first job. And all of the meals got blue and all of the utilities got pink. And we ran out of colors. We'd start with shapes and a year's worth of expenses 10 keyed that way. You can. I'm not going to run a business with that, but you can put a launch framework on a small business.
Well, I love that. And that's, you stole the words right out of my mouth, because it's like, what it shows for everyone listening is that what we just talked about today and last week is these phases of the business. You have to serve people where they're at. That doesn't mean you have to serve everyone, right? So, in your case, you did serve that launch-based business, small business owner, right? And you do serve them, but you kind of serve them by showing them another way, right? And when they're ready for you, right? When they're ready for you, now all of a sudden they become a right fit client because they've done all those launch phase things. And now the value for an entrepreneurial, tax advisor, CPA, somebody who can understand a variety of facets of this world that most people don't. Like, most people just don't understand tax code. Like, I'm one of them, right? It doesn't always make sense to me. That's a really great way to honor the people who could be your who someday, but currently are not. Is that the way you look at it?
I think so. I mean, some of the other trainings, some of the 100X stuff, they talk about skeletons in the closet of the industry. One of them is that the idea that all of this is secret knowledge that only accountants can have. Listen, if AI comes for any industry, it's this one. Like, no one needs to 10 key McDonald's receipts anymore, ever again. They don't even need to sort them. Like, AI can do all of it. They can take it out of your bank statement, off your credit card, run it through your books, and send it to your tax return, and you almost don't have to touch it. They're actually saying that CPAs that are getting their licenses now are starting in the industry being asked to do what 3 to 5 year experience CPAs were doing not very many years ago, which feels a little bit daunting. And it's also wonderful because it means that I get to step in and I don't have to 10 key receipts for the next 3 years just to earn my chops.
I love that part, because I think what it does is you take on this, like, this awareness, this reality that it's on us as entrepreneurs to, like, up level our skill sets. We're not going to try to hide from AI or whatever the thing is in everyone's specific industry. I mean, AI is going to be everywhere, so we should probably pay attention to it. But what I love about it is that entrepreneurs, because they are diverse in skill sets, because they are, like, locked into the vision that the business owner is trying to create, and that they see that vision, they want to implement it, create it, build it, organize it, operationalize it inside of the organization. Like, most people who have just kind of a basal level of interest in growth or no interest at all, because not everybody loves growing themselves, right? It's like, it sets us apart even more, the folks that actually want to build a skill set, that want to go deep, that want to really get good, like master our craft, so to speak, and then deliver on it, because AI can't control that, right? Like, it becomes a tool in our hands so that we can be and have more impact, influence, favor within every organization we work with. Do you see it that way?
I do. And I think it really underscores the need for mentorship. Like, why? Like, I can't go this fast without tripping and going under. Like, you can get to where a snowball's chasing you. And if nobody's ever been this way, like ever done or seen this, I had to go seek out mentorship that had 20 plus years experience. And to find someone who was, I searched for 5.5 years. I looked all over. You never would have convinced me. I would have gone and gotten my CPA. My original degree was in pure math and business. I always thought I'd go back for finance because it matches math, patterns, possibilities, forward facing. Someone said CPA and I have the same reaction most other people have. Oh, gross. Who wants to do that? But if I can go in and understand the categorization for the classification of expenses and then the tax code and how to leverage it with AI to provide that foundation I need to build on, I now get to come in and do what I wanted to do in the first place, which is to go forward facing. But I still don't know. I mean, I still need mentorship. I think there's coming up on 100,000 pages in the tax code. My training was to make to make shelves in my brain, to know that there could be something there. Oh, your kids are between this age and this age. There might be some things we can go look at. I need to go research it. And all I need to do is to know, oh, if you have this situation, there might be something to go look. I don't have to memorize. I don't have to know from year to year the exact standard deduction as they change, whether you're single, head of household, married, filing jointly, any of that. I just know that there is one. I Google the standard deduction at least once a week because I don't keep it in my brain. I have other things in there.
Well, that's good because, like you said, like these other tools like allow for you not to have to keep it in your brain all the time while simultaneously freeing it up to do other things. So, man, I love your commitment to mentorship.
If the mentorship piece wasn't there, like I could get lost in a bunch of different directions.
Big time. Well, I love that commitment to mentorship. And I'd mentioned before when you first joined, like, you were part of the Intrapreneur Apprenticeship program. We kind of walked together for about 4 months, maybe a little bit more. Maybe for people who don't know or aren't aware, we're kicking around the idea of opening enrollment to that again, maybe sometime early summer or midsummer. What was that experience like for you, like kind of apprenticing as an Intrapreneur apprentice?
It took all of this stuff that you said in Academy and just put feet to it. Like we got to watch you walk it out. We got to watch what Jamie does in the background. We got to see how Kaylin's heart shows up and affects how the entire thing gets laid out from the very first discovery call all the way through scope creep and anything else. It would still be an abstract concept if we were only existing in Academy.
That's super good. Well, Brittany, we've taken more than 15 minutes from your kids' time, so I just want to honor you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for being a part of not only Apprenticeship, but Intrapreneur Academy. And we'll see you inside the group very soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Scott.
Awesome. See you, Brittany.